It's 1,000 points of Orc and Goblin Tribes versus 1,000 points of Ogre Kingdoms in a game of Warhammer, the Old World. This is Toe in 10 minutes. Abuza the Bruiser was walking his big red dog named Clifford. He was on a camping trip with some of his friends who brought cannons, clubs, iron fists, a war banner, and a catapult. You know, the usual things you bring to a camping trip. Unfortunately, Abuza was obliged to take one of his abnormal, socially inept, distant relatives on the camping trip too. It doesn't matter how many times Abuza tells Nigel he doesn't want to hang out, Nigel just doesn't get the message. He has Asperger's. Abuza snuck out of the campsite with his mates to get away from Nigel. All was well. Abuza was playing with his dog, the Noblars were launching random shit out of the catapult, his ogre mates were playing dodgeball with cannons. To disturb this peaceful holiday away from Nigel, some savages rode by. Abuza's friends thought it would be fun to play dodgeball with them too, so they invited them to play by firing at them. Understandably, the Nomadic Waaagh were deeply offended by the gesture, so 8 boar riders, 5 goblin wolf riders with a level 3 wizard on a wolf, 3 orc boar chariots and a big boss who was also out walking his pet dog ride into battle against a force of playful ogres.
Let's turn that Waaagh into a Waaagh!
Orc and Goblin Tribes, turn 1. The Boar Boys begin their approach towards the ogres with a vanguard move. The Goblin Shaman casts earthen ramparts on the Boar Boys and a mini earthquake erupts around them, popping up earth pillars and shit so they can't march or charge, but can still move for some reason. All 3 of the Boar chariots march forward screaming, while their boars make a similar noise. The Orc Big Boss on Wyvern flies forward with them. The Wolf Riders ride forward, hiding behind the Boar Boys. Ogre Kingdoms, turn 1. The Ogre Bulls declare a charge on the Boar Boys and just make it. They may be 500 pounds with an eating disorder and type 2 diabetes, but never underestimate how fast they can run when they see a whole line of pork chops and lechon baboy. The lead belchers move closer to avoid that long-range penalty, but will still suffer a penalty for moving anyway. The Noblars move in front of the scrap launcher to bait a charge from whatever wants to charge. Bait is all Noblars are good for, really, and they're proud of it. Abuza the Bruiser continues to walk his dog. A single lead belcher can just see a wolf rider. This is a tournament game, so yes, I did that. He fires at them, but the wolves are expert dodgeball players. The scrap launcher fires at the wolves, but their dodgeball skills are worthy of an Olympic medal. Or it's a scrap launcher and it just sucks. The ogre threw the balls into lechon kawali. The boars avenge their fallen friends and kill off 1 ogre, but now let's calculate combat res. The Ogre Bulls stumble backwards from the might of the plant-based pork chops and the Orcs decide to restrain. Orc and Goblin Tribes, turn 2. The Goblin Shaman casts Itchy Nuisance on the miscast! There is no strategy when it comes to casting spells because Warhammer the Old World is a dice game. And his power is drained from him. The Wyvern decides to be a prick and charge the poor innocent Noblars, and they understandably run away from it. So the Wyvern redirects its charge into the scrap launcher, who stands and shoots, but why even bother? One of the chariots jump on the bandwagon and also charge the scrap launcher, while another chariot charges into the flank of the ogres. The Boar Boys ram into the ogres, and the Shaman, having run out of magic, leads his crew to hide behind the pigs again. The Wyvern attacks ferociously, turning the scrap launcher into, well, scrap. And just when the Noblars thought they'd escaped, they are eaten alive by the Wyvern. Hey, they moved, they fled, they died. Being Noblars, job well done. The Wyvern and the chariot turn around to search for their next victim. The Boar Boys kill off another ogre, while the last 2 ogres devour another 2 boars and their riders. Losing combat, they fall back in good order. The Orc chariot and the Boar riders restrain, bringing us into Ogre Kingdoms, turn 2. Nigel suddenly appears on the field.
Hey, you guys didn't tell me you were playing catch and kill.
Oh shit, he found us!
Sorry, boss. It must have been all that noise we made playing dodgeball.
You played dodgeball too? Without me?
No! Actually, we're playing hide and seek and oh no, you found us! You win! Now it's your turn to hide, Nigel. Make sure you hide somewhere far, far away, where we'll never find you!
I'm not falling for that again.
The last two ogre bulls tried charging the boar boys, but after eating 4 of them already, they're so full that their charge turns into a morning walk.
Come on now, keep up!
What do you mean, keep up?
Oh, it's a race! I can run fast too! Ha ha! I win!
Pissed off that his retarded cousin has ruined his peaceful morning walk with his dog, Abuza moves around the woods to seek an enemy to take out his anger on. The lead belchers blast a gaping hole in one of the orc boar riders. Orc and Goblin Tribes turn 3. The shaman gets his magic back and casts Plague of Rust on the lead belchers. So instead he casts Earth and Ramparts on his own unit, which works. A chariot charges back into the ogre bulls. The boar boys charge Nigel, who is delighted someone actually wants to play with him.
How about a game of heads or tails? I can rip off your heads, or I can rip off your pigs' tails!
The wyvern charges into the flank of Abuza and Clifford, the big red dog, as do the other 2 boar chariots. The wolf riders continue to hide. The combat phase. The boar chariot crashes into the ogre bulls, completely wiping them out.
Ouch! That's not how you play! Let me demonstrate how to rip a head off. See? Just like that. Now let's try again over here.
The wyvern slashes into the stone horn, scoring 2 wounds, but Abuza the Bruiser swings his great weapon into a chariot while Clifford stomps it to pieces. Losing combat, the surviving chariot gives ground, but the general craps his pants and flees, flying away on the wyvern as Abuza charges forward on his stone horn to catch him. But those damn trees are in the way.
Missed it by that much.
Ogre Kingdoms turn 3. Abuza the Bruiser charges the fleeing wyvern and it continues to flee. And he would have caught it again if it weren't for those damn trees that are in the way.
Don't say it! Don't you dare say it again!
Nigel charges the last 2 boar boys for another game of just heads this time, and the lead belchers are suddenly very hungry, so ditch their cannons to eat some raw pork belly. Nigel rips one of the orcs' heads off while the lead belcher eats the other one alive. The lead belchers overrun, but being so morbidly obese that when God said let there be light, he was just asking them to move out of the way, they can't overrun far enough to hit the chariot.
Hey, big cousin, did you see that?
Can't you see I'm busy?
My friends helped me win. And they're my friends.
Yes, they are your friends. Now you can hang out with them every day while I go and do literally anything else.
Orc and Goblin Tribes turn 4. The orc war boss's Waaagh does indeed turn into a wah as he fails to rally and off the board entirely. The Goblin Shaman and his crew continue to hide behind whatever is left of the orcs. The other chariot could charge the lead belchers, but instead decides to do absolutely nothing. The chariot that charged Nigel impales the Aspergus-ridden Gorger and he dies at peace, knowing that he died fighting side by side with his friends. Ogre Kingdoms turn 4.
You killed my cousin! He was like a brother to me!
I'm so confused right now.
The lead belchers fire at the chariot, and all of them miss. Orc and Goblin Tribes turn 5. The Goblin Shaman casts Earth and Ramparts on his own unit, Plague Rust on the ogres, and screws up the last spell of the game. The chariot charges into the lead belchers and impales one of them. Then the lead belchers, being so tired by turn 5, they attempt rolling on the chariot, doing 0 wounds. Ogre Kingdoms turn 5. Abuza and Clifford declare a charge on the chariot that killed Nigel, but it flees, so instead he redirects his charge to the other chariot to save his lead belchers. That chariot gets instantly pulverized by the sheer force of the stone horn. All that remains is the Goblin Shaman with his crew and an orc boar chariot, and an ogre bruiser on a stone horn and 3 lead belchers. And that is why my opponent conceded. Now if you enjoy this sort of content, consider becoming a YouTube member. You can choose the Hero Pledge, Lord Pledge, or Old One Pledge to get access to more of this sort of content. Every member helps me justify making these a little more, as they take a shitload of time to make. If you want to become a member, link is in the description. Salamat sa panonood. Sana all panalo sa Warhammer.